Hey everyone, real quick, I wanted to give you my thoughts on Reminiscence, the latest Hugh Jackman film. It's a sci-fi noir, and it's written and directed by Lisa Joy. If you're not familiar with who she is, she's married to Jonathan Nolan, Christopher Nolan's brother, and Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy are the showrunners for Westworld on HBO. And so this was her directorial debut, and I dug it. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's got like a 35%. I went on Twitter and a bunch of people are just calling it the most boring movie of the entire year. I went in just wanting to see some nice sci-fi, and that's what I got. And I'm actually kind of surprised at how much a bunch of people are disliking this film. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying it's in my top 10 of the year, but as something just a little bit different, this blend of sci-fi, dystopian world building with this noir mystery, it worked for me for what it was going for. At least it worked well enough. So what did I like about the movie? Right off the bat, the world building. Just having this place that feels familiar of being Miami and New Orleans, except they're overrun with water. And so it feels familiar, but like this very dark, bleak version of it. And the way the characters are designed, they all have this backstory that led them to the place where they're at. And so they just casually talk about all these events that we haven't seen, about these wars and the catastrophes that led to all the flooding. And so it just feels like a lived-in world. And I enjoyed experiencing it as it went along. And through their backstories, we learn about what happened rather than this intricate set of exposition at the beginning explaining everything. We just learn through people and characters and what happened to them. Next thing I liked about it is just as an interesting concept about what if there was technology that allowed you to see people's memories and capture them, and people can relive them, but then they can be recorded at the same time. And so then it takes that concept and applies it. How would consumers, average Joes, use that? How would that tie into criminal investigations? And then how would the military use that? And each one of those ideas is touched on just a little bit through Hugh Jackman's character. And he has this unique skill set of having this technology and being the person that knows how to use it. And so it intertwines with, we learn how he used it as military person, and we find out how he makes a living through these other mechanisms. And then as the plot kicks in, you learn how you might use that to try and unravel a mystery. And there's intricate ideas about how you access those thoughts in people's minds. And because you don't know what's there, you can't just fast forward through an entire lifetime. And so you like use these right words to pull up memories and stuff. I just thought it was handled in an interesting way that I enjoyed. Then adding to that, just the mix of sci-fi and noir. It takes a genre noir that I don't normally go watch these old detective stories, but when you put it with sci-fi and these intriguing ideas about using brain technologies to look at people's memories and set it in this dystopian environment, you put that skin around it, and all of a sudden I'm interested in this genre. And the mystery, the twists, the reveals worked well enough for me. Add to that, you've got Hugh Jackman in the lead, Rebecca Ferguson, of course, just very fun actors to watch on screen no matter what they're doing. And so it worked well enough for me. Now, on the negative side, some of the characterizations aren't the most fleshed out as to why exactly Hugh Jackman's character is so enamored with this woman. They don't quite give a reason for why he would be driven in this way. I think the final moments of how they're trying to close it out in a satisfying way, tie everything up thematically and plot-wise, raises some really big questions as to how exactly this would play out. And then, while the blend of noir and sci-fi in this world building is all new and different, the individual elements certainly feel familiar. And I think that's where a lot of people, a lot of critics didn't seem to enjoy the film very much, because they're like, well, this is like Blade Runner plus Chinatown, and they list off 5 movies it's like. And I think there's a fairness to that. From my perspective, if you're like, hey, it's like this movie that's 40 years old combined with this totally different movie that's 50 years old, those are some pretty old movies to draw inspiration from. And so it feels fresh and new with where we're at now with modern storytelling techniques, modern technology, modern special effects, and the blend of them hasn't been seen like this before. So I thought it worked well enough. Like I said, it's not a movie that I'm going to put in my top 10 of the year, but it delivered enough of what I wanted as someone that enjoys sci-fi, and it's an original story. When so much of what we're getting are sequels, remakes, adaptations, even adaptations of rides at Disney, an original story that certainly is paying homage to and having elements from movies from 50 years ago, but it's an original story. And so that's what I appreciate. That's what I liked about it. So, I'm not quite sure exactly what my rating is. Something like a B, something in that range right there is good. It's enjoyable. But don't go in expecting a big action movie. It's noir. It's a detective story, a little bit of action. You got to want to watch a mystery. And if that's your thing, I say check this one out. Give it a try. If you're going in looking for a big action, fast-moving spectacle, probably not the right movie for you. That's my take on it. Let me know what you thought down below in the comments section, and keep talking movies too much.